Well, hello, my friends. I'm here with one of my favorite people, Candace Gregory, the president CEO of Open Door Mission. I always love having conversations with you, Candace. Welcome. So good to see you.
Thank you, Andy. I always feel inspired after we've had time together.
Absolutely. I do too. As we are approaching the holiday season, but you also, Open Door Mission, kicking off 70 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Looking back, the time has gone so quickly,
Yeah.
and I just can't believe it. I've been here for 29 years of the
Great.
70 years,
Yeah.
and we've been gathering all these archives ready together and to share with the community over the next 12 months. And I'm really excited about the things that we're finding, like cookbooks from
Oh my
1960
God.
that the Guild brought in Miss America. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
There's all those fun things.
Yeah, again, I mean, 70 years, that is quite when you look over the decades, the last 7 decades and what has transpired. But let's go back to, I mean, how who started, who's
Yeah.
the founders
Well,
of Open Door Mission?
it's really fun. Jerry Dunn and Garland Thompson actually came together back in 1954. And Jerry was a businessman. Garland was a student at Grace Institute. And they started downtown, just men, just
Yeah.
men. And now to think today, if the city hadn't, moved us here in 1986, we never would have been able to actually grow to 15 acres on 4 city blocks, 2 satellites. And so I mean, it's just amazing how generous the community has been to the Open Door Mission,
Yeah.
that we could now offer 40 programs for free to blind
Wow.
people of homeless and poverty.
Yeah, and that truly, I mean, like you said, I know that this is a community effort, and you depend on the community
Yes.
to support you so you can support the people and the mission. So let's talk about who you do serve.
The Open Door Mission has 917 safe shelter beds. And so I wish I had a bed for everyone, but we are in overflow at the men's center as well as our Lydia house. Oftentimes that's because someone's physically not able to even get on a top bunk. And so they have
Um,
to put that on the floor in one of our overflow areas. One of our other bigger programs is someone comes through our door because they're hungry. There's a huge food insecurity issue in our community, and we see that every day. We serve over 4,700 meals in our community kitchen. You don't have to live here to eat here. If we're not serving a hot meal, we'll give away a sack lunch. And then also in our outreach centers, individuals and families can come once every 30 days to choose their consumer choice pantry. Unless you're a senior, Andy, you can come twice a month if you're a senior.
okay. Okay. And how many meals do you serve a day?
So from I mean, if you have an early riser, you can
Yeah.
come and you can help volunteer for breakfast from 5 to 8 in the morning. And then
Okay.
lunch is 11 to 2, and dinner is from 4 to 7. So about 4,700 with all of our meal programs
A
are hot
day?
meals. Yes, hot meals, sack lunches, as well as our pantries. So we are serving a lot of meals and providing a lot of
Right.
meals, Andy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a calculator, but when you look at that over the course of a year, that's serving a lot of meals.
Almost 2 million meals.
Oh my gosh, that is, wow.
Yeah, and we're actually breaking ground in our new hospitality center. It'll sit 1,000 people at one time.
Okay.
So it's going to be amazing. No longer will the community have to walk through our shelter facility to enter the community dining room. It will actually just be like any restaurant. So I'm super excited about that.
So where is that located at?
It's
It,
actually right behind our men's center, in between
okay.
our men's center and our warehouse, where our old we gave up our garden
Okay.
to be able to build this. So
Okay. Well, and so you just broke ground.
we are just breaking
You're
ground
just
like
breaking.
next week. And
Okay.
we have raised 9.6 million for this project,
Okay.
and it will be a volunteer hub and a hospitality center. So super excited.
So what's your ETA on that? I know sometimes that,
Oh, I wish it was not one of the days of construction being done in 9 to 10 months. Now
Right.
they say 10 to 14 months. So
Okay.
it's
So
in,
yeah. So maybe probably early 2026.
yes, yes.
But it'll be amazing, and I know I will be there when this all opens up.
It's
So
going to be exciting. It's going to be an
yeah,
exciting day, a dream come true.
yeah, that is so wonderful. So here we are. It's hard to believe the holiday season 2024 is upon us. And again, you do so much. And this is also a time of year, 365 days a year. I know people can contribute and you need help 365. But let's talk about uh as we're heading into the holiday season. I mean, so many people are struggling, but there's something about the holiday season that makes it even harder.
Interesting enough, our community puts the thanks in Thanksgiving. There's no question because
Yeah,
no one goes without at Thanksgiving or Christmas, thanks to the generosity. We live in such a community that gives. We for Thanksgiving, if you're experiencing homelessness, we have a Thanksgiving brunch and banquet. Andy, it's just amazing. We do omelet stations, so you order your omelet. It's all banquet style. We serve you, and it's just about respect and dignity. Very
yeah,
festive. But we also work the whole month of November to actually empower people to be in their own homes. So we actually empower about 10,000 families to be in
okay,
their own homes on Thanksgiving through the Turkey and Fixin' program.
yeah.
And so they can pick a turkey or ham and all the fixins. And then it's all about Christmas.
And I just want to back, so for Thanksgiving, are you looking for, I know you need people to deliver all these meals.
So we actually in our holiday volunteer webs on our website at opendoormission.org,
Okay,
our holiday volunteer opportunities are up. And you
okay,
can sign up to be part of Great Thanksgiving Banquet, brunch, or even the Turkey and Fixins program.
okay, wonderful. All right, then we get, through Thanksgiving into December and then the holidays. And again, this
Yeah.
time of year is, people are struggling and it's just even harder, I think, from the emotional piece of it. So what are you doing and how can the community help?
I think that it's kind of twofold because our donations are down by 10%, but our
Okay.
consumer services are up by 7%. So we have this double whammy going on. But at the same time, as you talked about mental health, it's 1 in 4 people struggle with mental health, and especially during the holidays, Andy. Not everybody has great memories of holidays.
Yeah.
And so it just is a trigger. And so we're a great place to start new traditions by
Mhm.
volunteering and being part of a new family and a new festivities and new traditions. At the same time, we try to make it very festive for those experiencing homelessness and those that are coming to our door asking for assistance for their family. And so
Yeah.
because there's a lot of guilt and shame. And so
Yeah.
we try to eliminate some of that process. So for us, we do adopt a guest, and hundreds of people sponsor our men and women who are experiencing homeless on Christmas morning. And they get, Andy, it's so heartwarming. The gifts are wrapped and they've got their name on them, and everyone has a bag and something to open on Christmas morning because of
Okay.
our community.
That
And
is,
it's amazing.
well, and I don't mean to interrupt. So what were you going to say more about that? Because I feel
I
like
was
that,
I was gonna just share that we do a program for the community as well called Project Santa. And actually it's all consumer choice. So people choose 5 to 7 items for each of their children and they take them home and they use them to celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah, or maybe they're gonna save them for birthday. But at least it's supplementing their income and helping that family at their time of need.
yeah. And I know all of this information is on your website. So people, I mean, just got a great website with a lot of volunteer opportunities. But I'm going to read some. So Outreach Center, Toy and Joy Shop, diaper unloading.
Oh, that's a big one. I hope that 94.1 does a diaper drive for us, and
Mhm.
literally 50% of our women and children are victims of domestic violence at the Liddy House. So diapers are like golden. And we're praying in 1 million diapers, Andy, to get us
Wow.
through the whole year of 2025. So I'm hoping lots of volunteers give diapers and lots of volunteers come and help us unload diapers.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, that's a big thing. And it's also, I mean, I just, we don't always think about those types of things for, uh, homelessness, individuals, you just don't think about that. And then I know you have, the toothbrushes and the just the general the things that we take for granted because they're in our bathroom.
Yeah.
And that's another big thing that desperately is needed.
Yeah, it's amazing. We have a number of volunteer in place opportunities for people because we know that convenience and we know too people's time, Andy.
Yeah.
And so we have people that literally make us jars of sunshine for our guests in our infirmary because there's nothing worse than being sick and not being in your own home in bed. And
Yeah.
our jars of sunshine are just little hard candies or chocolates with just little inspiring words in the mason jar
Mhm.
that we give to them. Um, and then we have other projects like the hygiene kits where people travel a lot and they take their own hygiene kits with them. And
Yep.
so they gather those hotel things and they make the little kits and we give them out to people and they're so grateful for them.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are some other things, again, all the volunteer opportunities for Thanksgiving and through the holidays are on the website. But I also we've got just a couple minutes left. What are some other things that people? Because I mean, again, this is all year round. You've got a lot of programs. I'll definitely will have you back. In
Yeah.
early 2025, and we can talk more about the 70th anniversary. But what are some things that people can also do? That are listening to this like right now.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say be grateful. Be grateful for everything you have. Second, remember that during the holiday season, your words matter. When you're out in the hustle and bustle and we're maybe shopping ourselves or at a restaurant, be kind, Andy, because you just don't know where that person's coming from. They may actually be working a 12-hour shift and walking to the open door admissions Lydia House to actually sleep.
Yeah.
So be kind. And third, I just like to challenge people to say, hey, when you see somebody out on the streets this holiday season, would you use one of our compassion cards? They just say free food, free shelter,
Oh, nice.
transportation. And you can go on our website and get them yourselves, or you can stop at our outreach center and pick them up. Just put them inside where the little cigarette holder is, because nobody uses that anymore anyway. And when you see somebody that's experiencing homelessness, would you give them a hand up? And just pass them this card. You may even feel compelled to say, would you like me to call the mission to pick you up? And if they say yes, would you call 402-422-1111? Because we are so grateful for the community's eyes. We pick up people that are underdressed, under the influence, not in their right mind. And those well checks save people's lives. So thank
Yeah.
you.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that because that's not something that I knew to do. I'm going to get online and I'm going to get some of those cards. But the great message too about kindness that goes a long way with everyone. I mean, with
Yeah,
everyone, and just being grateful too. That's a
absolutely.
game changer.
It sure is. And I know for myself that I'm really going to try to smile more and I'm going to choose joy.
Choose joy. Smile more and choose joy. Love it, Candace. Thank you
Thank
so much for
you.
joining me.
All
Um,
right.
and happy
Hey, happy
holidays.
Thanksgiving
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Yep. Same to you. And folks, don't go away. We will be right back. Well, hello, my friends. I'm excited to be here with Chris Mahaffey. He is the CEO, Scout Executive for Scouting America. It's good to see you here, Chris. I think it's been about a year, but thanks for joining me.
My pleasure, Andy. Thanks for having me again today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to talk about some new and exciting things happening in your organization, but I do want to start off with asking you a little bit about who you serve, and then we're going to talk about the Big Give Luncheon coming up here shortly.
Awesome. So we serve children from kindergarten through the senior year in high school. We've got programs for every age group. One of the really cool new things that we've got is for every Eagle Scout that graduates in the state of Nebraska and is an Eagle Scout and then stays in state to go to one of 30 colleges or universities, there's an automatic $3,000 scholarship a year, up to 4 years, to
Wow.
help those young people go to school. So scouting's doing a lot of great things in their lives, and now helping them with
Yeah.
their post-secondary education. And we're really excited about that.
Yeah. That's big. That's big. Well, speaking of big, let's talk about the Big Give luncheon coming up here on Wednesday, December 4th. How many years?
This will be eight
Okay, eight.
that we've put this event together, and it's become a really great event for us in December. It's a way for us to not only raise dollars to help support the mission of the organization, but to tell the scouting story.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do ourselves the biggest disservice by meeting in the basements of churches or in school cafeterias at night, and we're not out as much as what we really should be. So we've got three really great stories to share of what scouting has done in young people's lives and in families' lives
Yeah.
this past year. And then our keynote speaker is going to be Rudy Rudiker from the movie
Yeah.
Rudy, Notre Dame fame. We've got a lot of Notre Dame fans here in the metro area. So we're going to be at CHI, 11:30 kickoff that day. And it should be a great hour and a half luncheon.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a great keynote. I'm very well aware of Rudy. I mean, I've seen the movie as well, but what a great story to share on that on December 4th. So let's talk about who typically comes to this luncheon. Is there a charge involved for this luncheon?
Now, this event is unique to Omaha. We don't typically charge for lunch. We do offer sponsorships for tables. Our
Sure.
tables of eight. $5,000 sponsorship will get you on the front row, and an Eagle
Okay.
Scout to sit with you and talk about their scouting experience and that type of thing. And there's a couple of other levels. But we also want those that maybe have had a scouting affinity in the past or an alumni of the organization to come back and connect with us in this way, hear the great stories that we've got of things that are happening here in the Mid-America Council, and connect with us again.
Yeah, absolutely. So December 4th, website is bsabiggive.org. So you can find information all about the event, sponsoring a table and all that good stuff. So why don't let's talk a little bit. Well, you shared with me before we started recording just some new and exciting things that are happening in addition to the scholarships you just shared. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, I'm happy to tell you more about the good things we've got going on. One of the newest programs that we have started, and it wasn't started here, it was started in Columbia, Missouri. It's Invention Scouts, and it's taking technology and using scouting principles and some of the lessons that we teach, and using technology to engage students. We've learned through national studies that the phone that most kids have now, that is our biggest competition. Every youth serving organization, that's the biggest competition. So if we can engage children in with technology and get them interested in things early in life, not only does that help them be engaged in the scouting program, but we've got a workforce development issue here in our state. And this is a way that we can take technology and get kids engaged at a really early age and show them there's some great career paths that you can take by learning to program a computer that maybe then will run a welding robot. And there are some really high paying jobs in the manufacturing field doing that type of thing. And there's all sorts of great careers out there that deal with technology. And STEM and STEAM, which are acronyms that are used an awful lot, it's in everything that we do. If you don't think that it's involved, stop and think about it. And this is a great way for us to show kids how to engage in this this great science.
Yeah, very exciting. So when did that program start?
So we started the program in 2021.
Okay.
And we served just a few hundred children.
Mm-hmm.
And in 24, we have already served nearly 13,000 individuals with Invention Scouts. And we've got some great partnerships. Collective for Youth, we are a partner with them now, and we're in some after school programs with them. The North Star Foundation, our team is helping with some robotics and some other programming, North Star. And we're finding that this program is being accepted widely in other places, mostly because we've got a really good team.
Yes.
And they're willing to go into schools, into organizations, and teach this versus give an organization a kit and said, here's a lessons plan, good luck.
Right.
And people make all the difference in the world. Our volunteers make the difference in the scouting experience that we offer, and the 102 counties we serve. Our team doing Invention Scouts, they're really the key to the success of this program.
Right. Now, for folks watching, and those, I mean, I know so many people support your organization, and for Invention Scout, can people, I mean, when people donate to you, I mean, I'm just asking this because I don't know. Can they give directly to a program, or do they give to all programs? You know, because people want to give back, and I know there's some people that are also interested in certain pieces, you know. So
Those are great questions. So donor designated dollars are things that every nonprofit hopes for, right? They're looking for in order to help take care of
sure,
specific programs. The undesignated dollars, though, help the broad organization.
sure,
So if there's a donor that's really interested in supporting our Invention Scout program, of course, then we can find a path to have their dollars go specifically to help support that program. But every dollar that comes in that's undesignated helps support the overall organization and the 20,000 plus children that we have impacted in this 102 counties that we serve now, throughout Nebraska and Iowa and Union County, South Dakota. That's really the most beneficial.
sure. No, absolutely. And when you look at 2025, and you know, you'd mentioned that you're starting, you know, you're starting the giving, the donation season or whatnot for as we get into the holidays. But then at 2025, um, what are, I mean, I know people can donate financially. Are there other ways that people can help the scouts and help the organization?
Absolutely, there is, and most of that is by volunteering your time, and
Mm,
that's the most precious resource any of us have to give, right?
yes.
And an hour spent with a youth in a school, mentoring them and teammates, is an awesome thing to do. An hour spent with 6 kids in a scout meeting once a week is spreading the impact of that volunteer now amongst 5 kids. Maybe they don't get as much one-on-one time, but the
Yeah.
peer-to-peer influence that happens and that mentor and with that group, and there's typically 2 volunteers that are doing that, that's an awesome thing. And especially for those folks that have been involved in scouting in the past, our alumni, there's more than 22,000 Eagle Scouts that currently live in Metro
Wow.
Omaha. That's a lot of alumni, just Eagle Scouts. And there's more Life Scouts than there
Right.
are Eagle Scouts. So there's a huge opportunity for volunteers to get involved, whether it's an hour a week to help lead a meeting in a Cub Scout pack or in a scout troop, or whether it's somebody that will teach a merit badge for us or is willing to be on camp staff, or we've got 100 different ways that people can volunteer.
Wow. And I think, like you said, it's so important having that whether it's one-on-one time, or you know, volunteering for a group, it really impacts, that impact and that connection goes so far out. I mean, the ripple effect really, we don't even know what we don't know the impact because it ripples, like I said. Yeah.
You hope at some point that a youth would say something about what the impact you've led. The greatest example I have is I was a lifeguard on summer camp staff for 3 summers when I was in high school and college, and was at the mall during Christmas with my family, and was walking down the mall, and I had a kid from camp stop me, call me by name, and recant what I did for them that summer during camp. And I couldn't remember the youth's name, but because he was in my canoeing merit badge class that
Right.
summer, he got a great experience and then took a canoe trip down one of the rivers in Alabama and had a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
And we see that so often from the older we get, but
Yeah.
that instant gratification that comes from a volunteer hearing from a youth, hey, thank you so much for giving your time. This is how you've impacted me. Our folks really need to hear that more often.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a great message and a great reminder for all of us that definitely people throughout our lives have impacted us, and we don't forget those stories. We don't forget that. But what we do forget to do sometimes is then to mention it. So everyone, if there's somebody that you can reach out to easily, I would, even if it's been decades, go for it. Or if you see someone at a mall that you haven't seen for for a long time that you know impacted your life, let them know. That's a great story. Thank you for sharing. Well, we've just got a couple minutes left. What else? Yeah, what else would you like to share with us?
It's never too early to start thinking about summer camp and what your youth
Yeah.
is going to do next summer. We've got programs that will start the first full week of June and run all the way through the third week of July, except for the week of 4th of July. And it's never too late to get your scout and your scout age youth involved in one of our programs and have them attend summer camp. It's this is a game with a purpose that gets parents off the bleachers and onto the field of play. And if more
Yeah.
parents would get involved, you don't necessarily have to volunteer your first year, but get involved with your kid. I've been really
Right.
fortunate that all three of my daughters, notice I said daughters, have
Yes.
been involved in scouting. My two oldest are Eagle Scouts. And some of the greatest times that I've had have been with my children have been in scouting because it's an opportunity to bond one-on-one with them in an adventure. And that's what scouting does for families. In Cub Scouts, it's all family focused. It's driven that way to try to help connect the family together. And
Yeah.
in our Scouts BSA program, which was traditionally the Boy Scout program, offers that self-driven program that's all about discovery and adventure for youth, both male and female. We've got all female troops. We've got all male troops. We are piloting a co-ed program with 10 units here in Metro Omaha and a couple rural units in Iowa. So we'll see how that goes, but it's an opportunity to engage youth. And from a
Right.
family perspective, sports is really important. They're going to learn sportsmanship. They're going to learn the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, but they need the leadership that goes along with it. And if you can combine sports along with scouting activities, because you can come and go for scouting during sports seasons, you're
Mhm.
going to get a better, well-rounded young person
Absolutely.
to go into life.
Yeah, and you mentioned, the families and the adventure, and I think a lot of times, especially now in today's world, that adventure piece with your family that's missing, because everybody's so busy. And what a great to just naturally have that incorporate into your life through scouting. So really great message to hear. Um, okay, well, again, we've got the big give luncheon coming up on Wednesday. I keep wanting to say November, but it's December. We're already past the 4th, December 4th. So go online to check that out, but also go online to also find out all of the wonderful programs and ways you can contribute, volunteer to scouting. So, Chris, thank you so much for joining me today.
Andy, thank you for the time. It's always a pleasure to be on your show.
You're welcome.